You could be destroying your prostate without even realizing it. Something silent, invisible, but that can define whether you will lead a healthy life or whether, within a few years, you will be facing pain, difficulty urinating, and a collapse in your well-being. And the worst? This is happening to most men over 40. For years, this habit was treated as something harmless. But science now reveals that it may be overloading your prostate, causing chronic inflammation, hormonal imbalances, and progressive wear and tear that may be irreversible. Have you noticed that lately you need to go to the bathroom more often? That the strength of your urinary flow is no longer the same? That you feel a strange weight in your pelvic region? A feeling that something has changed in your body? These could be the first signs that your prostate is already paying a high price. And if you ignore them now, you could end up facing serious problems that directly affect your health and quality of life. But why doesn't anyone talk about it? Why do so many men keep repeating this mistake without imagining what is happening inside their own bodies? Today, I'm going to reveal the truth that few doctors explain. What really happens inside the prostate when you maintain this habit frequently, what silent damage can occur, and most importantly, what you can do to prevent this problem from becoming irreversible. Stay with me until the end, because this information could save your prostate and prevent you from discovering the problem when it's too late. You may be ignoring the signs right now, unaware that your prostate is slowly deteriorating. And the scariest thing, most men only notice when the problem has become serious, when sleepless nights due to urinary urgency become unbearable, when pain in the pelvic region begins to be constant, or when performance is no longer the same. The prostate is a small but extremely sensitive gland. It works as a filter and regulator of the male reproductive system, maintaining the balance necessary for the healthy functioning of the body. But when subjected to excessive and frequent stimulation, it enters a state of silent overload. At first, the symptoms are almost imperceptible. You may notice that your urine no longer has the same flow as before, or that you need to go to the bathroom more often during the night. Maybe you feel slight discomfort in your pelvic area and think it's just tiredness or bad posture. But inside your body, the reality can be much worse. Your prostate may be inflamed, swollen, and struggling to perform its function correctly. If this cycle continues for years, the damage accumulates. The result, the increased chances of developing chronic prostatitis, prostate calcifications, and even benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, a condition that can compress the urethra and cause extreme difficulty urinating. Many men who face these problems report deep regret for not taking action sooner. They were not warned about the risks. They were led to believe that this habit would have no consequences, and now they have to deal with a problem that could have been avoided. And here's the truth no one wants to admit. You could be harming your prostate right now without realizing it. But the good news is that there is still time to act. There is still time to prevent this damage from becoming irreversible. But you need to become aware and act before it's too late. This channel was created with one purpose: to prevent you from discovering prostate problems when it is too late. Sign up now, because here you will have access to vital information to protect your men's health. Now tell me, have you noticed any changes in your body lately? Any changes in your urine? Any pelvic discomfort or a strange sensation that wasn't there before? Leave your comment and share your experience. Your report can help other men identify the signs before it's too late. And stay tuned, because now I'm going to reveal to you the silent impact this habit has on your hormone production and how it could be weakening your body without you even realizing it. The silent impact on prostate blood, circulation, and the damage few men realize. Have you ever wondered why so many men over the age of 40 begin to suffer from urinary problems, pelvic pain, and a drastic reduction in well-being? Most think it's just a natural consequence of aging, but the truth can be much more worrying. There is something going on inside the prostate that almost no one notices until symptoms become severe. The prostate depends on healthy blood flow to function properly. The blood carries oxygen, nutrients, and eliminates toxins accumulated in the region, keeping the prostate tissue healthy. But when certain habits are repeated excessively and without control, This circulation is compromised, and the gland begins to suffer the consequences of this invisible blockage. At first, the body tries to compensate. Small blood vessels work harder to maintain blood flow to the prostate, but over time, they begin to lose efficiency, and the region becomes increasingly congested. This leads to an accumulation of metabolic waste, creating a perfect environment for inflammation, microcalcifications, and even a progressive increase in prostate size. What happens afterwards? The first symptoms appear subtly. Urinary flow is no longer the same. The bladder never seems to be completely empty, and slight discomfort appears when sitting for a long time. But as these signs do not cause intense pain at first, many ignore them and continue repeating the habit without realizing that they are further damaging their prostate circulation. Over the years, this lack of oxygenation and the overload of waste in the prostate tissue create chronic inflammation, which can become a permanent problem. And here's the danger. This inflammation can set the stage for abnormal prostate growth, leading to benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, or even create a favorable environment for anomalous cells to multiply out of control. Many men who face this problem only realize it too late, when the only solution involves invasive treatments, continuous use of medications, or painful procedures. This is because compromised blood circulation leads to the gradual degeneration of prostate tissue, making recovery much more difficult. Now stop and reflect. Have you ever noticed that your urine doesn't come out with the same force as before? Have you ever noticed pressure in the pelvic region that wasn't there before? Or do you constantly feel like you need to go to the bathroom even after urinating? These may be signs that your prostate is already suffering the effects of this problem. If you really care about your health and want to avoid irreversible damage, I want you to do something now. Leave a comment below saying, "I want to protect my prostate," to show that you are aware and committed to avoiding this problem. Your comment might help more men become aware of this before it's too late. Now I'm going to reveal to you the mistake that many men make without knowing it, and which can further accelerate the growth of the prostate, making this problem almost inevitable. The danger of hormonal dysregulation. How this habit can destroy your balance and weaken your prostate. Few men understand the impact their habits have on the body's hormonal regulation. You may think you are in control, that everything is working as it should, but within you, a silent process may be directly affecting your prostate, your performance, and your vital energy. The prostate does not work alone. It is connected to your hormonal system, regulated mainly by testosterone and dihydrotestosterone, DHT, two hormones essential for male health. They control everything from your physical and mental strength to the quality of your prostate function. But here's the problem. When the body receives excessive and unregulated stimuli, this balance can be broken, causing a cascade effect that compromises your entire health. At first, this may be unnoticeable. Small changes go unnoticed, such as a slight lack of energy when waking up, greater tiredness throughout the day, a feeling that your body no longer responds as it used to. But as this cycle repeats itself, the consequences begin to become more evident. Testosterone can be reduced, and your body starts producing smaller amounts of this essential hormone. With less testosterone, the prostate begins to suffer directly because it depends on this balance to regulate its functions and avoid inflammation. What happens then? The prostate may become more sensitive to the action of DHT, leading to accelerated growth of the gland. This means that your prostate may silently increase in size, compressing the urethra and making it increasingly difficult to urinate normally. Many men only notice this when they start waking up several times a night to go to the bathroom, or when they feel constant pressure on their bladder, even after emptying it. Another serious problem with hormonal dysregulation caused by this habit is the weakening of prostate function. When the prostate does not receive adequate hormonal stimuli, it can begin to suffer from chronic inflammatory processes, leading to prostatitis and other conditions that cause intense pain, discomfort when sitting, and even changes in the strength of urinary flow. Now imagine spending years ignoring these signs, thinking everything is fine, until the day your prostate simply can no longer function as it should. You may need heavy treatments, ongoing medications, or even medical interventions to recover what was lost. Many men only discover this reality when they are already facing serious difficulties. And what's worse, they could have avoided all of this just by better regulating this habit and balancing their hormonal system from an early age. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever felt a drop in your energy or changes in your body that weren't there before? Have you noticed that your vigor is no longer the same without understanding exactly why? Leave your comment saying, "I want to keep my body balanced," if you want to protect your health and avoid this hormonal breakdown. Your comment is essential to bringing more men into this conversation and helping to spread this information before more people suffer from these problems. Now I'm going to reveal to you the hidden cycle that turns minor prostate inflammation into a chronic problem, causing pain and complications that can stay with you for the rest of your life. The hidden cycle that turns minor prostatic inflammation into chronic and painful problems. Have you ever heard the story of the frog in the boiling water pot? If you put a frog in a pan of hot water, it immediately jumps out. But if you put it in warm water and heat it little by little, it doesn't notice the change and ends up cooked without even realizing it. The same goes for your prostate. Problems don't arise overnight. There is no specific time when your prostate breaks or stops working. In fact, the process is slow, silent, and almost imperceptible. And when you realize it, you are often already suffering from pelvic pain, difficulty urinating, and constant inflammation. It all starts with small episodes of inflammation. The prostate, being a gland that constantly produces fluid, can suffer from the accumulation of secretions and toxins when exposed to excessive stimuli. This causes microinflammations that, at first, seem harmless. You may feel slight discomfort when urinating, perhaps a small change in how often you need to go to the bathroom, or even a strange feeling of pressure in your pelvic area. But since these symptoms are mild, most men ignore them and continue repeating the same habits. The body, in turn, tries to recover from these inflammations. The problem is that if they happen too frequently, the prostate doesn't have enough time to recover. The result? The inflammation becomes chronic. The prostate tissue begins to suffer continuous damage, and over time, this can lead to much more serious conditions. If you've ever felt a burning sensation when urinating or that uncomfortable feeling that your bladder doesn't empty completely, this could be a clear sign that your prostate is already accumulating repeated inflammation. The problem is that if nothing is done, these inflammations can increase the risk of bacterial infections, formation of calcifications within the prostate, and even benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, which makes the gland grow and put pressure on the urethra, making it difficult for urine to pass. But things become even more worrying when this inflammation alters the functioning of the nerves and muscles around the prostate. This can affect the urinary sphincter, causing involuntary urine leakage, or worse, drastically reducing the strength of the urinary flow, making the simple act of urinating a real challenge. The great danger of this hidden cycle is that it sets in slowly, without major warning signs at the beginning. Many men only notice it when they can no longer ignore the symptoms. When inflammation has already compromised part of the prostate tissue, reversing the condition becomes much more difficult. Now stop and think. How many signals could your body have already given and you ignored? How many times have you thought that a little pain or a temporary inconvenience meant nothing? If you don't want to be caught by surprise in the future and end up facing problems that could have been avoided, leave a comment now saying, "I need to protect my prostate." Your comment is not only a commitment to your own health, but it can also help other men realize this danger before it is too late. You've come this far, and now you have a clarity that few men have about their own health. Throughout this video, you discovered truths that almost no one talks about, why they are uncomfortable because they demand change, and why many men prefer to ignore the signs until it is too late. But not you. You now understand that the prostate is not an isolated part of your body. It is an essential organ connected to your hormonal, nervous, and urinary systems. Small imbalances can have a domino effect, affecting your quality of life in ways you may never have imagined. And now you also know that nothing happens overnight. The body always gives signals. At first, a slight discomfort, then a weaker urinary flow, perhaps a greater need to go to the bathroom at night. And before you know it, you're dealing with persistent inflammation or abnormal growths of the prostate. But the good news is that you still have time. You now have the knowledge you need to take action to prevent these problems from developing and to ensure that your prostate health remains strong for years to come. And the first step towards this is to look for a urologist. If at any point you have identified with the symptoms we mentioned here, difficulties urinating, a feeling of pressure in the pelvic region, mild pain that comes and goes, don't ignore it. Don't wait for it to get worse. Make an appointment and have your prostate checked as soon as possible. Preventive exams such as PSA, prostate-specific antigen, and digital rectal examination can save your health. Many men are afraid or resistant to these tests, but the truth is that those who take precautions avoid future complications and protect themselves from unpleasant surprises. Now think for a moment. Where do you want to be in 10, 20 years? Do you want to be a man who ignored the signs and now suffers from pain, urinary difficulties, and needs invasive treatments? Or do you want to be a man who took care of himself, who made the right decisions at the right time, and who can enjoy life with energy, vitality, and without limitations? The choice is yours. But now you can no longer say you didn't know. And I want to hear from you. Have you ever had a preventive prostate exam? Or have you noticed any changes in your body that worried you? If you've made it this far, congratulations. This shows that you really care about your health and want to avoid problems before it's too late. I want to invite you to leave a comment saying that you watched the full video so that I can get to know you and know who is really committed to taking care of their own men's health. Also, check now if you are already subscribed to the channel. If not yet, click the subscribe button. This ensures you continue to receive valuable information to protect your prostate and your overall health. And don't forget, like and share this video with friends, brothers, parents, and any man who needs to hear this message. The more people know this information, the more lives can be changed. Most men only realize that something is wrong with their prostate when it's too late. In the first pinned comment, I left a link to a playlist that can prevent this from happening to you. Watch now before it's too late.